So today we're building an AI system that finds viral ideas for your niche and allows you to make content outlines with a single click. I'm going to show you guys what the content creation engine looks like. So we're going to be looking at a list of topics that was generated by AI already. This is based off of YouTube videos in your niche. You can click create script, and then if you wait a couple seconds, what it's going to do is it's going to create a outline on the outlines database, and you will have a point of reference to create your videos. It is a really good starting point, and it helps me because I am a solo team. I do have my business. I do not want to dedicate my entire time to YouTube, but I do want to help people. So I feel like this is a happy medium. But to show you what that looks like, you're going to be looking at an outline like this. It gives you a title, how I turned in one AI project into a 5K monthly retainers. It gives you an intro, right, with some context. It gives you the body, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 different talking points. And each talking point has context, application, and framing, which is essentially just a way for you to guide your thoughts. And then ultimately it closes out with a conclusion. So as you guys can see, it literally took one click. So since I'm not building this live in real time, I'm going to have to really explain how each part plays with each other, but we'll start off the top. And just keep in mind, this is a 2-piece system. 1 is the Notion database, and 2 is the N8N agents. It's a combination of agents that are all doing different things in order. So I'm going to jump straight into N8N and kind of explain what's going on here. So right off the top, we have a YouTube scraper. So this YouTube scraper runs on a scheduled trigger. And what that's going to do is it's essentially going to pull. So it's a get all from a database page. Okay, so this database essentially tells the API for the YouTube scraper what to scrape, sends it to the caption agent. And from the caption agent, let's take a look at it. It's going to use ChatGPT to separate the captions. It'll create a database page for that specific article that it scrapes, and then it'll append it on Notion. So what that looks like on its first pass is it's taking this creator's database, it uses this URL and the creator, and then it throws it into the research database, right? So in the beginning, what you're going to see is the name of the creator, the topic. You're not going to have keywords yet. You're not going to have total score. You're not going to have summary, but you will have the date, the view count, and the likes, right? So after that, since we know a bunch of this information is missing, we're going to have to send it to get that information created. After we have the caption agent run, we are going to be sending it to the missing data agent, right? So just to summarize really quick, this piece of the automation is essentially pulling the relevant information that we already have on the database. This last one is triggering the workflows to fill in the missing information. And so what I did here was I ran it on a trigger, but they're a couple hours apart. And the reason I did that is because I'm typically running this overnight. This schedules about an hour or two after, somewhere between 4 and 6 in the morning. And then it basically fills in the remaining information. So for the first part of the trigger, it gets a database page, which is essentially the page here. Say I go how I use AI agents to make money, vibe marketing tutorial, right? So it's going to take this specific page. It's going to get all the information and then trigger the summary agent. So in the summary agent, we're going to be prompting ChatGPT. I think we're using OpenAI model. We're using GPT 4o mini, but we're essentially prompting it with this here. We're saying you're an expert in communications. You are tasked with getting captions from Notion and turning them into detailed summaries. The summaries must always be concise, but touch base on every important topic. You have an 1800 character limit, which sometimes doesn't work, by the way, and your output will not exceed 1800 characters. So that was me really trying to work with it. But then it's going to take the captions, and then the output will be a summary. It's going to aggregate that and then add that here. So what that would look like is you have this title, you have all this missing information, but you have the captions down here, and then boom, it would upload a summary. So this is the summary you would use if you're reading it at a glance and you just want to know what the topic's about. Pretty straightforward. After it does the summary agent, we're going to be looking back at the missing data. It is going to rerun this one piece of content, right? It's going to send it all the way through. I'm simplifying this a bit to make it quickly. And then it's going to be looking for keywords, right? So your second one is keywords. It says you are an expert in SEO. You are tasked with getting, there's a typo here, but you are tasked with taking captions and identifying the most promising keywords. You will output 5 keywords. So what that does is it takes this title and then it creates these keywords here. So as you can see, it has vibe marketing, AI automation, marketing workflows, vibe coding, and content creation. I find these to be pretty accurate. But the reason we really want to pull this is so that you know if this is really in your niche or not. Once it is updated that on the page, we're going to be moving to the next one, which is going to be trigger scoring agent. So the scoring here works a bit different than the rest of the database. And the reason is because we want to make sure that it's being ranked based off of your niche, not just anyone's niche, not just off of any keywords. So what happens here is we have a relational database that pulls the same topics, right? It has all the same information. You can see here, it has a caption, it has a summary, etc. But what happens is it ranks it based on different categories. So SEO opportunity basically takes the keywords of that topic and relates it to your business, right? Social trend velocity takes the view count and the likes and sees how well it's doing in comparison to the other pieces of content. And then we have relevance to offer and relevance to ICP pain point. And these two I do want to talk about specifically because that's what makes this AI agent a bit unique. When it is taking the captions and trying to assess whether it is relevant to your niche or not, it takes your ICP database and your offers database into account. So the prompt here is a bit more dense. Says you are an expert in content analysis with a focus on content delivery, CTAs, and SEO. You're tasked with getting captions from Notion and turning them into 4 categories: SEO opportunities, social trend velocity, relevance to offer, relevance to ICP pain, and then it asks it to provide a numeric score from 1 through 10 for each of the 4 categories using the context. So captions uses, it fills in the captions from the input field. Offers, it calls from the Notion offers page, which is essentially this, right? So it pulls this information in. ICP pain calls from the Notion ICP, which pulls then from this database, right? So it's your ideal customer profile, their description, and their main pain points. And then social trend velocity. So content research database, likes, and view count, right? Which is, if we were to go back here, this is the content research database, and then we are taking the view count and the likes. So this does have to be one of the more advanced automations of this workflow. But once you get it all set up, it essentially updates your database with scorings, right? So it gives you 4 different scorings for each video. These are all specific to your niche. And once it pulls these together, the main database actually takes the sum or the average of your scores. So as you can see, these are not currently sorted, but you can see this video has an 8 rating. This video has a 7.5 rating. And these are all based on my specific business needs. So if you were to input your own offers, your ideal customer profile, and then the creators that you want to be scraping, then it would be tailored to your niche, right? Once we have the scoring agent done, we're really going to go straight into script writing. So the way the script writing agent works is it essentially takes a webhook right, which is a trigger. And then it prompts a GPT that says, you are a content manager for a business, owner of a full service agency. That's the context of my business. You are in charge of creating scripts for YouTube content. Generate an original content script using the following information: title, and then summary. Use the following intro, body, outro formula in your response, and then it gives you an output, right? Once that output gets generated, it pushes it into a new database, and that looks like this. We have a topic. When we select create a script, it fires, as you can see here, it fires trigger N8N agent script writing, right? So clicking this little checkbox will send out a webhook to this script writing agent. It'll catch it. It'll run it through the prompting, and then it will push it into this new database. So that looks like this here. And ultimately, you have a working outline. So if you guys found this helpful, please check out my free resource. It is a vault that contains a bunch of AI templates. It contains SEO stuff, pretty much anything business building. So it does have a bunch of free resources that I bet would be really helpful to you guys. Apart from that, I would greatly appreciate if you guys like this video, share this video. And if you guys really enjoy content like this, please let me know. That way I know I can make a follow-up video and kind of create anything you guys have in mind. But regardless, peace, love. I'll catch you guys.